Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for a squat and deadlift day. I was pretty unhappy with the squatting today, not gonna lie. As I looked at this, I realized every rep was high. None of it felt heavy, it was just all high. But notice I tried to go with a little bit wider stance today, and here's the thing that I'm consistently finding. When I'm using a wide stance right now, I just simply cannot hit depth. A lot of it has to do with just shoulder mobility and having to kind of go back to really a high bar position. It's making me stay a little more upright. And with that wide stance, I just can't get deep. I can't get deep. I left reps in the tank here though. They were all high, but I sank these as deep as they would go. And that's kind of the funny part. And it has to do with just back angle, hip position, and I'm going to have to, I think next week, I'm just going to go back to just pure Olympic squatting. I've been able to hit some pretty big numbers Olympic squatting. I've hit 500 plus before doing it. Okay? That's what I'm going to have to do. Because, I mean, look at this. This is so high. And you know what? It felt like the bottom. Like I felt like I sank these. That's why it's comical. It really is comical. So I'm going to have to just keep building my quads up. You'll notice on all the supplemental work, I was able to hit depth because I went with a narrower stance. So that's going to be my fix. Okay, I'm going to have to live with it and just keep building the quads back up, right? Which I worked my quads pretty hard today. They should be coming back pretty quick off muscle memory. I was pretty tired by the time I got to deadlifts. I got over to deadlifts. I'm like, I pulled a really great set earlier this week. I cranked out like 4 solid reps of 545. I went to do 545 today, and I'm like, I don't even feel like doing this set. Let me just pull 1 rep, get a training response, and let's just get over to supplemental work. And it's just the fatigue of everything, So I'm like, let me just pull 545 and just call it. And let's get in and just build some muscle, okay? We had a heavy day on Tuesday anyways. Like I said, I repped out that 545 and was real happy with it. All right, safety bar squats. On these, I'm like, let's try to slightly narrower stance. We're able to get deeper. Notice that's considerably deeper than the other one was, in spite of the back angle, right? Because look at that. That puts you in a high bar position. We're hitting depth. All right. But notice that my feet are closer together. Let's just call it what it is. I'm going to have to use this stance. And we get a really good back view when I get to the belt squats, because there I'm getting really where I want to be on depth. So what are we going to have to do? Everybody knows what coach is going to have to do. Coach is going to have to be objective and say, look, for whatever reason, joint mobility, all this stuff, 46. I can't get certain things to work the way that they used to. Live with it. What do? Work with what we are given. So I'm going to have to take the stance in a little bit. I'm just going to have to pretty much just Olympic style squat, what a lot of people call high bar, but it also has to do with the stance. And just build my quads and adductors back up. Okay, I need to get my quads back to where they were when I was squatting 600 pounds, right? And I think that's just going to be the reality of it. Okay, these I went up there. You notice I went up 50 pounds on these. We're working with 291. I cranked out 3 sets of 10, left some reps in the tank. These felt good. I feel like I need to start working these up. Let me just, instead of trying to do the crazy high reps on the back off squats, the assistant squats, let's shoot for 10s. We can do high reps on that belt squat though. That's where I can get that deep, deep, deep burn. That's where we can get it. Notice my quads looked a little fuller there after I got a little bit of a pump in them. So, really, I think the 4 lifts we're going to focus on, it's going to be safety bar squats, glute ham raises, belt squats, reverse hypers. We know that rowing and just doing some deadlifting along with this posterior chain work, this builds my deadlift. Okay? It builds my deadlift. And I've got to spend the rest of my lower body days fixing that squat. And really that means it's going to have to be building quads, because it's partially mobility, but it could also be muscle weakness. Let's be honest, my body knows my quads are smaller and weaker than they used to be. It's also possible that it's putting the brakes on as far as that depth goes, because it knows quads get work in that deep position. It could be my nervous system doing it. So really we're going to have to adjust stance. We're going to have to fix the muscle weakness, because isn't that what I've always said as a coach? When I'm dealing with lifters and I see a problem, how do I fix form issues? Because missing depth is a form issue, right? It's definitely a form issue. We look at the compensatory strength components. We fix the form and we work on the compensation. And I think that's a lot of what we're seeing here. So I've got to build the muscles back up, and I'm going to have to adjust the stance. I'm just going to have to live with it. I'm going to have to focus on sinking those, because that was the thing. In that position, it felt like I was sinking. And I was worried it was high, and then when I saw the footage, I'm like, wow, it's really high. That's really bad. That's completely unacceptable. And notice, anyone who wants to chime in, you can't criticize me worse than I just criticized myself. I just said that from my perspective, that's completely unacceptable. There we go. There is no more scathing criticism that you can give to that. So we fix it. Now these belt squats, man, I did 25 reps with this just to get that pump, get that deep lengthened position after doing the other work. My quads and adductors were lit. This lit them up. I liked it too. This is good stuff right here. All right, but look at that stance. Look at the depth I'm able to get, and look at that stance. Everybody looking, do you get that? Go back and look at that again. That's where my stance needs to be. When I do the back squats, that is where my feet need to be, right there. And that felt crazy narrow to me, but when I look at it on camera, I realize it looked narrow to me when I look down. But it's really not. That's my sweet spot. I was trying to get into a position where I could just get that stretch on the quad, so I really wanted to get that deep stretch, but then it hit that depth. I'm super happy with that. All right, and this is why videoing is important. There's my sweet spot. We just found it right there on the belt squat. That is where I need to be on the squat. So I need to make it happen. And it's doable. It's doable. Keep moving forward, right? Keep moving forward. We got to get bigger, thicker in the right places, get leaner, keep getting better. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.